Yogis. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. Today we have just a playful vinyasa flow. It's called One Small Step. As always, I'll be suggesting postures, but if these don't feel good to you, please do whatever feels good in your body today. To begin, I'd like to invite you to come into a comfortable seated shape. You can close down the eyes or just settle the gaze in front of you. Placing the palms in the lap, however is comfortable. And just taking deep breaths in and out. Connecting to your breath and your body today. We'll begin with a 4-part breath practice. So we will inhale for 4 counts, hold the breath for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold the breath out for 4 counts. So to begin, just take a normal breath in, a normal breath out, and breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Continue inhaling, holding, exhaling, and hold the breath out. Let's do 2 more rounds. Last one. And just allow the breath to return to normal. Just noticing if you feel any shift in your energy from when you started. And when you're ready, you can just allow the eyes to flicker open. We'll take a big inhale, bringing the arms overhead and landing that right palm on the mat, leaning over to the right, stretching through that left side body. Inhale, arms come back up through center, landing the left palm, leaning over to the left, stretching through the right side body. Inhale, coming back through center. And then twisting to the right, landing the right palm behind the sacrum, left palm on the knee, gazing over that right shoulder. Just coming into a bit of a twist. Inhale, coming back through center, arms back overhead. And we'll go the opposite way. Inhale, unwind, come back through center, arms overhead. Gather the palms together, bringing them through heart center and landing them on the knees. Just drop that right ear to right shoulder, stretching through the neck. If you'd like, you can land that right palm on the side of the skull. Maybe walk the fingertips of the left hand out towards the edge of the mat, getting a little bit deeper stretch. You can bring that right palm back to the lap, head back through neutral. And then dropping that left ear, left shoulder. Maybe landing the left palm on the side of the skull. Maybe walking those right fingertips out towards the edge of the mat. Good. You can release that left palm. And we're going to roll over our feet, coming into a tabletop position. So bringing the palms underneath the shoulders, the knees directly underneath the hips. We're going to drop the belly, lift the gaze towards the sky, coming into a cow. And then on our exhale, we'll tuck the chin, curl the spine, coming into a cat pose. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Just moving here with your own breath through a few of these cat-cows. Just warming up the spine. Good, let's do one more of each. And bringing the spine back to neutral. We're going to warm up the wrists. So I want to make sure that you spread your fingers out wide, bringing those palms onto the mat directly under the shoulders. And just want to start to make gentle circles here in the palms. So just feeling the weight as it pours into different parts of the palm. So feeling it as it goes towards the fingers, or as your weight moves towards the sides of the hands, towards the heel. Just noticing how that feels when you're shifting your weight through different areas of your palm. And wherever you are in those circles, just reverse them, going the opposite way. Feeling how that weight shifts a little differently. Just really connecting to pouring weight into the palm of the hand. Good. Now come back to neutral, and we'll just flip the hands so that the fingertips are facing towards the sides of the mat. We'll just rock back and forth here gently, just warming up those wrists. And then flipping those hands so that the fingertips are facing the knees. Maybe just rock back slightly here. Just be very gentle. This can be really rough on the forearms if you go too far. So very gently stretch this area. And if it hurts at all, please do not do this. Just bring your arms back to neutral. Good. And let's just flip the palms so that they're back to a neutral position. We'll go ahead and tuck the toes, and we're going to send the hips up and back into our first downward facing dog. So really pressing through the shoulders here. Maybe pedaling the feet, dropping one heel and the other. Just doing whatever feels good here for you in this first downward facing dog. Maybe you shake the head no, or nod the head yes. Just any movements that feel good to you. Good. And then let's slowly just begin to walk the feet towards the hands. We're going to come into a forward fold here. So dropping the head. If you want to grab opposite elbows and hang in ragdoll. Maybe bending the knees a little bit if it's tough on the hamstrings. Maybe sway from side to side. Just whatever feels good in this posture. And then let's drop the palms towards the mat and just roll up the spine, just vertebrae by vertebrae, until we are standing tall, arms alongside the body, gazes forward in mountain pose, Tadasana. And just take a big breath in here and a big breath out. We'll move through a few Surya Namaskar A, sun salutation. So inhale, bringing the arms overhead. And exhale, forward fold. On the inhale, bring the palms to the shins, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, and step the feet back into a plank. Good. Now from here, you can drop the knees, or if you want to lower the chest with the knees lifted, go for it. Drop the knee. I drop the knees and lower the chest to the mat. And on the inhale, scoop up into our cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, let's roll over those toes and lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And let's take 3 deep breaths here. Good. On the next in breath, look between the hands, step the feet between the hands. And then inhale, come back to the half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise all the way up to stand, bringing the arms overhead, gathering the palms together, bringing them down through heart center, and palms alongside the body back to mountain pose. That's one Surya Namaskar A. We'll do 2 more. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's plant the hands, step the feet back into our plank. You can drop the knees, lower the chest down to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, roll over those toes to downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. On the inhale, look between the hands. You can step, hop, or jump between the hands. Forward fold. Inhale. Let's rise all the way up to stand, arms overhead. Palms to heart center. And alongside the body, back to our mountain pose. And a last sun salutation. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full. Plant the hands and step the feet back to plank. You drop the knees or just lower the chest down to the mat. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. On the next inhale, let's bring the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And bend that knee, step that right foot between the hands. Drop that back knee, coming into a low lunge. Good. Really feeling that stretch through this left hip flexor. And dropping that hip towards the mat. So leave the left palm where it is and open that right palm towards the ceiling, gazing towards the sky. And maybe begin to make some arm circles with that right arm. Just warming up that shoulder. Maybe you can land the palm on the sacrum. Or if you want, you can reach for that left foot or ankle, coming into a bit of a quad stretch here. If you have that left foot, go ahead and release it. Bring that right palm back to the mat, and we'll just slowly walk the fingertips back, straightening that front leg, hinging over the front leg into Ardha Hanumanasana, or half split. Let's go ahead and walk those fingertips back, forward, framing that front foot. You can tuck the back toes and send that right foot back to meet the left, coming into plank. And then just shift the hips back to downward facing dog. And we'll just go the opposite way. So on the inhale, bring the left leg to the sky. Bend that left knee, step the left foot between the hands, drop that back leg, coming into a low lunge. Really feeling that stretch through that right hip flexor. You leave that right palm where it is. Peel that left arm open to the sky, gazing towards the sky. And maybe making a few arm circles with that left arm. Before landing that left palm on the sacrum, or if you want to grab that right ankle or right foot coming into a quad stretch, go for it. Just drop that right leg to the mat. Just bring the left palm back to the mat. You can walk those fingertips back, straightening that front leg, flexing the left foot, stretching through the hamstring in our half split Ardha Hanumanasana. Let's just walk those fingertips back to frame that left foot. Plant those palms, tuck the back toes, and send that left foot back to meet the right in our plank. And then just shift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Let's inhale, bring our left leg back to the sky. Bend that left knee. We're going to step that left foot between the hands. And this time we're going to rise up to our high lunge. We're going to do just a little experiment here. We're going to switch our feet 3 different ways. So, option 1, we're going to bring the palms towards the mat. So bring the fingertips towards the mat. Raise up off of that back foot, coming into our standing split. Now, you may need to bend that front knee a little bit. We're going to place the palms on the mat in front of the foot. And then we're just going to bend that right knee and bring it to meet the left. You can bend the knee significantly here if you need to. I do. My hamstrings are tight. And then we're just going to step the left foot back and rise back up into high lunge. Right foot forward now. Good. That's option 1. Now we're moving on to option 2. We're just going to switch our feet a little bit quicker, so a little hop. So to begin, we'll hinge forward, bringing our palms towards the mat, coming into that standing split on the right side. Pausing here. And bend that front knee if we need to. Plant the hands on the mat. Strong through the shoulders. We're just going to bring that left knee in and just hop as we switch feet. Send that right leg back and rise up into our high lunge. Left leg should be forward now. Very good. Good, good. That's option 2. Option 3, we're just going to float a little bit, just a tiny bit. And we're going to be proud of ourselves for just experimenting with a little bit of play today. So to begin, bringing the arms forward, fingertips towards the mat. We're coming into that split on the left side. Bend the knee, bringing the palms to the mat, strong through those shoulders. Bend that front knee a good bit. And when you're ready, just hop that right foot a little bit more to the mat. Bringing that left leg back, landing in our high lunge, right foot forward. Maybe you got a little bit of float, maybe you didn't. But either way, both legs off the mat at the same time counts as a handstand. So be proud of yourself for that. It counts. Let's bring the palms together to heart center. And then just see if we can trust that right leg to hold our weight. We're going to shift forward into our warrior 3. Just balancing for 1 moment here. Gaze is directly in front of you. And we're going to raise the chest up. Continue to hover that leg. We're going to bring that left ankle up and across the right thigh, coming into our standing pigeon, so sinking the hips back. Just a little balance challenge here on that right foot. Good, and then you can raise the chest up. Drop that left leg to meet the right. Palms can come alongside the body into mountain pose. Big breath in here. Big breath out. And we'll flow back to downward facing dog. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands and step the feet back to plank. Drop the knees, lower the chest to the mat. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll just go the opposite way. So on the inhale, bringing the right leg towards the sky. Bend that right knee, step the right foot between the hands, and rise up into high lunge. And we're going to move through option 1, 2, and 3 on this side. So to begin, we'll hinge forward, bringing those fingertips towards the mat. Kicking off of that back leg, coming into our standing split. Go ahead and bend that front knee a little bit to plant the palms on the mat, strong through the shoulders. We'll bend the left knee, bring the left foot to meet the right, and then step the right foot back. Rise up, coming into our high lunge. Left leg forward. That's option 1. Option 2, we'll hinge forward, bringing those fingertips towards the mat, kicking off that right leg, coming into our standing split on the left side. Giving that left knee, bringing the palms to the mat, strong through the shoulders. Bend that right knee and just hop as we change feet. Landing that left leg and back now. Rising up to our high lunge, right foot forward. Option 2. So you can continue with that option, or if you want to try a little kick with a float on this side, let's go for it. Little experiment. So we'll hinge forward, bringing our fingertips towards the mat, kicking off that back leg into our standing split. Bend that front knee, bringing the palms to the mat, strong through the shoulders here. Bend that front knee a good bit as we kick and maybe float, switching the feet and landing that right foot behind, coming into our high lunge. You guys just did another handstand. It's amazing. Let's bring the palms together at heart center. We're going to see if we can trust that left leg to hold our weight as we kick off into our warrior 3. Balancing here for just a moment. And then raising the chest, still hovering that right foot. We're going to bring the right ankle across the left thigh and sink the hips back, coming into our standing pigeon. Gaze is in front of the mat, focusing on a single point, a drishti point. One more breath here. You can raise the chest, extend the legs, and bring that right foot to meet the left. Palms alongside the body, standing in mountains. Pausing here for a moment. Being proud of yourself for playing and experimenting and doing a handstand. It's so cool. Let's inhale, bringing the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. You can lower the knees or lower the chest down to the mat. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now let's just land the knees on the mat. Untuck the toes and bring the palms back underneath the shoulders. So coming back into tabletop. We're just going to stretch out our shoulders a little bit. So walking the palms towards the top of the mat, we're coming into our puppy pose. So bringing the chest or the head towards the mat, leaving the hips over the knees. Really getting a good stretch here through those shoulders. And then just walk those palms back underneath those shoulders, coming back to tabletop. And do one more stretch through the shoulders here. So inhale, bringing the right arm towards the sky, opening up the chest. And then we're just going to thread that right arm underneath the left, landing the right cheek on the mat. Maybe you walk the fingertips of that left palm up towards the top of the mat. Let's bring that left palm back underneath the shoulder, and we'll open that right arm, peeling it back open towards the sky, opening the chest, and then landing that right palm on the mat. And we'll go the opposite way. So leave the right palm where it is, peel that left arm open towards the sky, opening the chest, and thread that left arm underneath the right, landing the left cheek on the mat. Maybe walking the fingertips of the right hand towards the top of the mat. Let's bring that right palm back underneath the shoulder and peel that left arm back open towards the sky. And then land that left palm back on the mat. Good. Let's lift back up into our plank. And then we're just going to come into our pigeon. So bringing that right leg so that the shin is kind of parallel with the top of the mat. And snuggle that left knee back. We'll sit up tall. Big breath in. And on the exhale, just fold forward to whatever degree feels good for you tonight. Stretching through that hip. Maybe as you exhale, just sinking a little bit deeper into the stretch. Let's hold one more breath here. Let's bring the palms back to the mat, lifting the chest. We're going to tuck the back toes and send that right foot back to meet the left in plank. Maybe shifting the hips back into downward facing dog for a moment. Just a big breath in. And a big breath out. Before we go the opposite way. So bending that left knee. Bringing that left shin parallel with the top of the mat. You can snuggle that right leg back. Inhale, sitting up tall. And then on the exhale, just folding forward to whatever degree feels good for you tonight. Maybe sinking a little bit deeper into the stretch on each exhale. Releasing a little more tension from those hips. Let's take one more breath here. And then bringing the palms to the mat, raising the chest, and then let's just roll onto that left side bottom. Swing that right leg around. I'm going to face towards you. As you can see, we're going to move into a couple of seated twisting postures. So we can leave this left leg bent, bringing that right heel towards the bottom, the right side bottom. Then we're going to cross the right leg over the left. So coming into our half lord of the fishes. So inhale, left arm up high. And then we're going to twist towards the right. So you can bring that left arm around the right thigh, right hand behind the sacrum, gazing over that right shoulder. I love learning about the mythology of yoga poses. And this one has a pretty cool story. So it goes that Shiva was talking with Parvati on the bank of a river, and he was telling her all about everything he learned about yoga and how it had changed his life. And as they were sitting there talking, he realized there was a fish nearby, just kind of hanging out in the water near them. And it looked like the fish was eavesdropping on their conversation. So let's unwind the torso. Unwind those legs. You can bring the legs out in front of you and just kind of shake them out for a moment before we go the opposite way. So we'll bring that right knee in, bringing that right heel towards the left side bottom. You can bring that left leg across the right. And then raising that right arm up tall. I'm gonna inhale. And as we exhale, just twisting towards the left. So wrapping that arm around the leg. You can land the left palm behind the body, gazing over the left shoulder. So when Shiva realized this fish was eavesdropping, he realized, hey, I think this fish is learning yoga. And so he blessed the fish, naming him Matsandrasana, Lord of the Fishes. And the fish jumped from the river onto the riverbank and assumed this posture, a seated spinal twist, so that he could learn all about the traditions and philosophy of yoga. So let's unwind the torso here. You can unwind those legs, bring them out in front of you, and just shake them out again. And then we'll just bring the soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. And sit up tall here on the in-breath, and on our exhale, we're going to fold forward. But we're not going to fold forward, rounding our spine. We're going to fold forward, thinking chest forward, chest to feet. If that means you can't go as far, that's fine. We're just opening up through the hips here. Let's take one more breath here. And then just bring the spine back up to neutral. We're going to bring the soles of the feet in so that we're kind of balancing on the bottom, and bring the hands to the outside edges of the feet. And maybe we're just going to play here for a moment. So maybe just play with putting a little weight in the bottom, picking the heels up, see if you can balance on the bottom. Maybe you play with bringing one leg out, and maybe the other leg. Or maybe you want to play or experiment with both legs at one time. If you fall backwards, totally fine. We're going to head that way anyway. So when you're ready, you can just roll back onto the back body. Still holding the outside edges of those feet, coming into a happy baby. Maybe rocking back and forth a little bit. And then bringing the soles of the feet down to the mat, knees are bent. And bring the arms into a T, and then drop the knees over to the right side, gazing over the left shoulder, coming into a bit of a twist. Let's bring those knees back through center, and then we'll just drop them over to the left side and gaze over our right shoulder. And on the next inhale, just bring those knees back through center. Maybe hug the body here. Just rocking gently before we make our way to our final resting pose. Shavasana. So bringing the right leg long to the end of the mat and the left leg long to the end of the mat. Feet out and floppy. Arms out alongside the body. Palms up. And just resting here. Resting in our final resting pose, knowing that I will bring you back when the time is up. I want to read a poem by Zana Keithley. It just takes one small step in the right direction to profoundly change your life forever. One small moment of courage can show you that your fears were never as scary as you once believed. One tiny spark of hope can set in motion the beginning of something extraordinary. Your life isn't defined solely by the bold jumps and daring leaps. Sometimes it's the small moments of courage, the things that nobody sees, that can make the biggest impact on your future. Take one small step today. Take one more small step tomorrow. Show up for yourself even when nobody's watching, even when it isn't easy, even when you have no reassurance that you'll succeed. Follow your authentic path. Honor the pull in your heart guiding you forward, and trust that your hard work is paying off in ways you can't yet see. Begin to bring some awareness back into the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, or rolling the wrists and ankles. Bringing the arms overhead, coming into a full body stretch. Bring the knees into the chest. Hug the body. Maybe rock gently from side to side before landing on your favorite side. And then slowly and gently making your way back to a comfortable seated shape. Let's take one more big breath in together, bringing the arms overhead, gathering up all this beautiful energy, this playful energy we've created today into the palms of our hands, bringing that into heart center. And close with an intention. It's the ancient intention. It's been passed from heart to heart through thousands of years. So that our practice remains steady, our efforts remain continuous, and our yoga helps and heals, and it serves and it benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be free. May the thoughts and the actions in each of our lives contribute towards this. Thank you so much for joining me today, yogis. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.